mid-20th century Americans thought about fitness, which is to say that they paid lip service to working out but didn't really do it that much. And when they did, it was low intensity and very much biased against strength. And that's a paradox we're going to look at today. On the one hand, we have this ideal of beauty, but it's sort of voyeuristic. It's sort of othered. It's not really something that we can see ourselves attaining necessarily, at least for a very long time. And by the way, for a very long time, I mean up until about 15 years ago. And indeed, one of the overarching arguments of my book is that about 15 years ago, the way we understand fitness began to change. And we're really only in the beginning stages of that. But until about 15 years ago, nobody thought that that was something that they could really look like, or very, very few people thought that way. They thought, it's an amazing body, but it's not something I'm sure I even want to attain. Why the uncertainty of whether or not the Hercules presents a desirable ideal? Because muscles are a problem, always have been. They have been at least since people were confronted with their brute meatiness in statues like the Hercules. We still can't seem to get a grasp on what muscles mean. Do they represent strength or oafishness? Narcissism or health? Do they masculinize women, or do they indicate vitality and therefore beauty? These questions are instances of what I call Western culture's Popeye and Bluto syndrome. What I argue in the book is that that first mass culture of fitness that occurs in the 70s is a pure product of feminism, of the women's movement, that it would never have occurred unless women got into gyms. And we know that because for 3,000 years, men had been working out and almost nobody was doing it. And there's other reasons we know that too, but similarly, strength training in this country has only started to take off when women got involved. Group fitness classes like CrossFit were pioneered by women in those aerobics classes in ballet. Aerobics classes in the 80s were much more high skill than the bodybuilding movements the guys were doing at the gym next to it. So there's a reason why why you see this connection. And yes, you're right. Right now it's getting blended in ways that are really fascinating and making everybody stronger, actually.